it.
There is a problem, though, because you did mention, Chimene asked you about the implications of this on Nigeria's image, and you said you don't think that this really has anything, in your own opinion, yet you did cast aspersions in South Africa that they deliberately did this, knowing that the United Nations General Assembly is coming up, the president will have to read his own address, and somewhat that might diminish his status in terms of, or Nigeria's status more or less, which means that as a country, each individual bears some part of what has gone awry. When you finally leave this country, if you're going to be going out, you're a Nigerian. And if this makes international headline news, you will be sharing a part of what has gone awry with your country.
But it has already made international headline news. Mm-hmm. And the fact that government came out to say, it is our money, degrades the whole phenomenon. If government had said, we don't know anything about it, then it becomes quite more embarrassing. But government, in this case, did what government that is responsible should do and own up to that responsibility.
So do we admit that this is embarrassing?
Well, it is, because the finishing did not justify the beginning. So it is embarrassing in all aspects.
How do we begin to repair the embarrassment?
How do you repair it? Well, first of all, the South Africans have to release the money back to Nigeria. South African has greater investments in Nigeria than we do in South Africa. And we need to begin to review our relationship with them, number one. Then number two, for those nations that have refused to collaborate with us.
You say we need to begin to review our relationship with them. Why is that? Because let us look at the story that the South African government told. They said 3 men came into their country in a private jet. 2 Nigerians, 1 Israeli, carrying 3 suitcases of cash. Now, it was when he was going through customs that he said they looked at these suitcases and they didn't just look right. Something, went off. I mean, something flicked their suspicion. And upon examination, they found out that the suitcases were loaded with cash, which for any normal country is a normal process. Unless, of course, we're saying that South Africa should have closed its eyes to it.
No,
before
they shouldn't
the Nigerian
have.
government
No, they shouldn't have
owned up to it.
When South African government identified this as cash and brought the people in for interrogation, and the people said, this is what we're here to do, then the South African government should have quiet diplomacy, call the Nigerian ambassador and say, come in, this is what we had, and clear it there and keep it quiet. But somebody went to the media. The media were not at the airport. And once you have gone to the media, you have attempted to embarrass a nation. And that is wrong on the part of South Africa.
Are you saying that they should have taken the story hook, line, and sinker? What?
No. It's not about taking. It's not about taking a story hook, line, and sinker. It's about respecting a nation's integrity. When you have really apprehended the money, and the people gave you a story that this is meant for weapons purchase, and they are working on behalf of Nigerian government, then the next step you should do is calling the Nigerian ambassador to come and collaborate. And the Nigerian ambassador will call his home desk and ask questions. Do you know anything about this? Is it true? And if it is true, Nigerian ambassador diplomatically can now tell South African government, look, our government is involved in this, and we do not want it to be of public discourse. And South African government at that particular point in time is expected to accept that position, and then hope that someday they will also ask for reciprocity.
Mr. Gbanite, let us not forget that, as you rightly said, it's a black operation, so many people might not have been in the know. How do we know that the South African government did not call the ambassador, who possibly did not have any information on it?
No, and but the ambassador is there. He has issued statement. Remember the word, the ownership of the money was first admitted by the ambassador while in South Africa, before the Home Office here admitted that it's our money. There are very clever ways of keeping things quiet, especially in the arms industry. When the Department of State Security intercepted the containers, the reason why we got to know is because of the uncertainty of the information coming from people. And if there were really good orchestrated answers, I'm quite sure it wouldn't have been made public. They would have been moved out of Nigeria quietly. But because of lack of ownership until finally somebody comes up and say it is destined for Gambia. And that was what happened. But when nation to nation, there must be a level of respect for Nigeria, for the things that Nigeria have done for South Africa, for the things Nigeria means to Africa. And then after your interrogation, then you can now go public. But they went public before determining the issue of where the money was coming.
Isn't it because we played into their hands with this one?
I don't know if it's playing into their hands. It is because somebody perhaps feels that Nigeria should be clipped in Africa.
No, but if that kind of money comes into this country from any other country...
It's not really much money. $9.3 million is not really much money in fighting insurgency.
No, but if that kind of money comes into any country, wouldn't they raise an eyebrow about it?
How? If the money comes into Nigeria and the operational end of the matter is handled very well, you and I wouldn't know.
If $9.3 million were to come into Nigeria,
somebody really messed up.
Are you saying that we should it should be kept quiet?
No. If $9.3 million comes into Nigeria and relevant authorities intercept it, you ask questions first before you make it a media frenzy. When you have asked that question and determined what it is meant for, then you can then just bring it to the media. When you bring it to the media, you've now created a sensation.
Yes.